Let us not dawdle, for there are grudges to settle, and new entries in the Dammer's Cron to right!
Howdy, howdy, Sudevil here, and welcome to an online ladder battle featuring the Dwarfs versus the Lizardmen. And in this fight, we are fighting Mazamundi on Zlok. So, for my lineup, I have altered it a slight bit since the last, I don't know, maybe not the last one, I can't remember. But anyways, we do have two Rangers with one Chevron each. They are Vanguard deployed. I do want to get early shots and put pressure, and you can see I have them all in my range. So we will get those early shots right away. I do, of course, have four Longbeards with four Chevrons each. This is a very nice, this is a sweet spot for Longbeards to fight in this battle, to hold the front line against Saurus warriors, and of course they will crush red-crested skinks. On my edges, I do have Longbeards with great weapons, 2 units of them, each with a Chevron. Backing up my front line, I have miners with blasting charges, 3 units of them, and they're specifically added to the lineup for red-crested skinks, on which there are some. And we also have 2 units of Quarterlers with great weapons, each with a Chevron. Again, they have a little extra ammo, they have some extra armor, and they can do a little extra damage to units that get into the back line that have armor. And we of course have the Grumbling Guard, the Regiment of Renown, and they do have the Old Grumblers, plus 9% vigor, and we have the Dragonback Slayers, who are fantastic in this matchup. We have, for our leadership, Ungrim Iron Fist with no abilities, 1350 gold, anti-large, armor piercing, really strong in this matchup as well. And finally, hidden in the back, we have our Ulthar's Raiders. And as we talked about before, the idea is leaving these guys in the back, letting this fight go, because the lizards always get into your back line, letting that happen, and then bringing them in late, finding a good target, and just going for it. So, for the Lizardmen, they have, I believe, 5 red-crested skinks. They have skink cohorts. So I have 1, 2, 3, where is there? 4 red-crested skinks, feral cold ones. They have 3 feral cold ones, 4 red-crested skinks. They have 3 skink cohorts, I believe. Yep. And then they have some classic Saurus warriors with shields. I believe they have 2 or 3 of them, and they do have these Star Chamber Guardians, which are temple guards that do provide that Guardian of 15% physical resistance. That used to be 18 when this game was filmed. Fortunately, this didn't bug up my replay, and we have a group of Cold One Riders here that have pretty good stats. Melee attack, 70, 50 charge bonus. That's really strong. They are anti-large, I believe. Cold One Riders. Well, maybe not. Just regular. Okay, so Cold One Riders. And we have Mazamundi on Zlok. Of course, he's got very good stats, 7,500 health, which is fantastic, 140 armor, and melee attack is 26, melee defense 41. He does have anti-infantry. Bonus for his infantry is 18, which is really good. Missiles cause poison damage. Charge bonus is 70, and for his abilities, he has the Ruination of Cities, which is a bound spell. He has Banishment, again, 2 charges, a bound spell. He does have Shield of the Old Ones for 22% damage resistance, plus 8 leadership. He has Apotheosis, 5 charges for the heals. Curse of the Midnight Wind, minus 30 armor, minus 26 melee attack, very common in this matchup. Harmonic Convergence, plus 26 melee attack, plus 27 melee defense. He has Cold-Blooded, of course, and the Sunburst Standard of Hexawaddle, plus 9 melee defense, plus 12 missile resistance, and he has a greater Arcane Conduit. Roiling Skies, for every time he casts a spell that hurts things in the air, he can fire while moving, and he causes fear and terror. He is pretty much an absolute beast, no pun intended. So we'll let this go right away. I want to get my shots off. Unfortunately, I get into red-crested skinks here and here. Now I'm immediately just going to pull back. Really, I just wanted to get that pressure going. I'm going to put my whole front line forward. See right here, I want to get them down this hill. So really, I'm going to get the hill bonus on some of my troops, and we're going to just try and get the other Rangers. You can see I'm just going to bring them back here and start firing. I will get my Longbeards out front, and I really want to get these miners with blasting charges into the red-crested skinks, and skink cohorts are just fine. So we're getting some shots in. You'll see right now we'll start to get those in. Here we go with the blasting charges, and they're going to hurt the red-crested skinks much more than our longbeards, because the red-crested skinks have a lot of armor, and you can see away they go. They're really devastating that front line of the skink cohorts and red-crested skinks, and they're already ready to rout. They're not going to be long. Here we go. We got the skink cohorts are already routing. The red-crested skinks are already very close. Yeah, there they go. They're routing, and we're going to line up another shot here with these miners with blasting charges. We're pushing these longbeards in. So now these miners with blasting charges can go ahead and get off their blasting charges here against the skink cohorts and Saurus Warriors shields. And as soon as they get the rest of their charges off, they can get in and fight. And of course these miners can muck things up. We've got a, what is this, a banishment? No, a shield right here. The shield of the ruination of cities. Yeah, there we go. Goes right through my slayers. Just trying to find good targets for everything right now. I've got these miners. They're just going to go get in the way of these Cold One Riders, which will be just fine. I've got my slayers over here, and I do have my quarters with great weapons. They'll do fine. We have quarters with great weapons here, and we're going to see the feral cold ones are going to come and just get in a charge with the quarters with great weapons. The quarters with great weapons, they had that +2 melee attack bonus, and they're not going to hold on forever, but I am going to see that they're fighting. They think they're winning. They got pretty decent stats for that, and we are going to send our miners back to help out here. And already the Cold One Riders are coming out. I do have the Ulthor's Raiders. I'm trying to get them into position where they can sort of be sneaky and find some. I really want to get on Mazdamundi and put some damage into him, but I think they see me, because here we go. They've seen me, and now they're coming. I'm sort of trying to run myself away, but it becomes pretty clear pretty fast that I'm not going to be able to make it. So I'm just going to, I think, stop right about here and turn around and fire and try and stop these Cold One Riders. I'm going to put Marked by Ulthrar. They do have a shield that's really going to help reduce their missile resistance. We're going to get a shot in. They have 20 models, 14 models, 13 models. They come in to get a charge, and they're going to kill immediately 7 of our Ulthar's Raiders on the charge. But we do rout them, and we're going to give them a shot in the ass on the way out. And our quarters with great weapons are taking a few shots in them as well. On this flank, we do have our Dragonback Slayers up against skink cohorts and Saurus Warriors. I do not want that, but my opponent is doing a good job of just juking my Dragonback Slayer, so I'm going to pull them out, and he's just going to chase them down. And we've got our quarters with great weapons shooting in on Mazdamundi. Now, they don't have armor piercing, but we're going to keep shooting at them. Longbeards with great weapons are going to do some damage, and I do have Ungrim Iron Fist. He's fighting against some Saurus right over here. You see, yeah, we're just beating some up. And on this side of the field, we do have our Grumbling Guard, and we have our Longbeards with great weapons supplementing the line, because there's not a whole lot of big dinos. So they're fighting Red Crested Skinks, Saurus Warriors, and Skink cohorts. These Longbeards are doing just fine against the Temple Guards and the Red Crested Skinks here. I've got these miners with blasting charges. They're going to fight Red Crested Skinks and push off the Skink cohorts. I really love them. Get another ruination of cities there. It goes right across my rangers, right across my quarters with great weapons. Finally, I'm getting my Ulthar's Raiders right into the position that I want to, so that I can get in and shoot Mazdamundi. We're going to see how much damage. He has 4,400 health, and in come the missiles. 1 volley, and now we're at 3,100 health. He is going to put on Apotheosis, and you can see he's going to go from 3,000 health and up. I'm going to try and get another shot in on him right away. So he's at, what, 3,300 health. We'll see 1 volley, 3,400 health. 1 volley comes in, and he's at 20, we're going to call it 2,600 health with everything. So really, we're putting a ton of pressure on Mazdamundi. And again, Red Crested Skinks are gotten onto my Dragonback Slayers. I'm going to try and push them back against, back on Mazdamundi here. He's doing a great job of juking everyone. I really now just want to get out of the road, because he's got these Saurus Warriors with shields coming after my Ulthar's Raiders, and they will crush them. I am shooting in with my quarters with great weapons, trying to get some shots on them. I don't care if they fight my quarters with great weapons. I want to get my Ulthar's Raiders sort of away. And I've still got the fight going here with the Grumbling Guard and the Longbeards with great weapons against the Saurus Warriors. These guys did rout, but now I'm just shooting into the back of these Temple Guards who are fighting the Longbeards on here. I'm trying to catch Mazdamundi with Ungrim Iron Fist, but really this is the power of Mazdamundi. I do see that again. He's clever. He's run right through where he's going to run my freaking Dragonback Slayers through the Star Chamber Guarding. So I'm going to stop. I'm going to see that. I'm just going to run him out here, and then I'm going to run him up and around. He's coming in for a charge on my Longbeards. I do have my quarters with great weapons shooting back here. Right, we're trying to get rid of these Saurus Warriors with shields. I'm going to see that. I'm going to try and exchange. I'm going to send these Grumbling Guard and these Longbeards with great weapons up. I'm going to send these guys back and try and start my line here and get them back, get my Authorized Raiders back to here. I've got Ungrim Iron Fist coming for Lord Mazdamundi, but you can see Mazdamundi's pulling away. We are putting pressure on with these Rangers over here, and I do have my Grumbling Guard on the way back. I'm going to try and get another shot into Lord Mazdamundi. He's at 3,500 health, and instantly down to 2,200 health. These guys are so strong, but he's going to get a charge in, and he's going to follow him up with these Temple Guards. Not good for my Elthar's Raiders. They are armor piercing. These are all armor piercing units that Mazdamundi's around. He's got marked by Elthar on top of which, and we do have Ungrim in there, and we do have our missiles shooting in on him as well. These quarters with great weapons have rallied over here, taking a few shots, so just escort these Cold One Riders out, and then they can come back into the field up on here. On this side of the field, we got our Longbeards chasing away these skink cohorts, and our these red-crested skinks. Sorry. We have the Longbeards fighting these Star Chamber Guardians, and they're doing just fine. They're just fighting. Neither of them, they're sort of like a wet noodle fight. We've got our Dragonback Slayers finally coming back. I had to put them way around. Now I'm bringing them in. And Mazdamundi again is gone and ran over my Elthar's Raiders, and he's run away from Ungrim Iron Fist. He's just really, really difficult to stop, but we're putting some fire into him. And now he's going to come and he's going to attack my Quarrelers. So again, I want to move my Quarrelers here and move my Dragonback Slayers up. He's going to get a charge in. I'm just going to keep on pushing to try and make that exchange, and he's just going to take his Lord Mazdamundi and just fire right back out. He will not stand him still to let my Dragonback Slayers get there. So I have over here Ungrim Iron Fist fighting these Temple Guards, and these Saurus Warriors are getting beat down now. This part is starting to resolve in my favor. I'm trying to chase Mazdamundi down with the Dragonback Slayers. He's going to come in and put a charge on these Longbeards. These Longbeards are fighting the Star Chamber Guardians. Just bringing these Feral Cold Ones in for a charge. Again, I'm trying to get to Mazdamundi. He has 50 speed, but if I can get him, I can knock that down to somewhere around 30. I've got my Quarrelers with great weapons all the way back there. I just want to pull them into here so I can get into range in Mazdamundi. I finally caught up to Mazdamundi. You can see his speed is 33. My Dragonback Slayers are going to start getting some shots in, but he's just going to start pulling right through. These Feral Cold Ones have shattered. I'll keep the Longbeards on the Star Chamber Guardian. That fight will last forever, and he's going to try and pull Mazdamundi away. On this side, I have ended up chasing the Saurus Warriors with shields. I am going to switch. I'm going to send the Rangers. I'm just going to escort them off. I'm going to bring back my Grumbling Guard, my Longbeards back up here. I'm not sure when I see that, but it's going to be pretty soon. Yeah, there we go. So I'll make sure I escort them off the field, and we'll get these two units back. Over here, I'm just trying to keep the Dragonback Slayers on top of Lord Mazdamundi. We are both beating the heck out of the Star Chamber Guardian. The Dragonback Slayers don't do no damage against other infantry. Over on this side, I'm sort of starting to get everything resolved over here. So we've got the Temple Guards, and he's going to have some units sort of returning from here, but I'm just going to sort of set up a line here. I'm getting all my units back together into one sort of set. On this side, again, I get these Longbeards back together. I'll just let this resolve. I'm happy to have Mazdamundi fight Longbeards and Dragonback Slayers, and I'll get the other side resolved. I'm happy to let these Rangers escort these Saurus Warriors right off the field. He's got Shield of the Old Ones going again, trying to slow down the damage. I've got some, last bit of those Quarrelers with great weapons ammo's going in on the Skink cohorts and Red Crested Skink. We've got our line here, and we're just going to chase these guys off. We go over here, and Mazdamundi is finally routing, and that is the battle. So, great fun fight. I really loved what the Miners with Blasting Charges did in this fight. 16, 47, and 71 kills. Really, really strong for a unit that cost 400 gold. I know it was kills against Skink cohorts and some Red-Crested Skinks, but they got a few shots into some other things as they went by, but they just make the line denser, and they did a really great job. I'm very happy with the way they perform in this matchup. The Longbeards with 4 chevrons, I mean, they're always a star performer in this matchup. 4 of them, they're just so strong. Our Longbeards with great weapons as supplemental. This is our real anti-large armor-piercing contingent with these 3 units, the Longbeards with great weapons and the Grumbling Guard, and they can supplement in the front line if you get a really wide line like he brought. We got 8, 9, 10, 11 infantry. So we brought 11 infantry, and the beauty is I can properly supplement. I have 7 that can really manage that front line, and these miners with blasting charges can do at least something to these lower level units. So we have enough that we could sort of handle that. So very happy with the way the Longbeards with great weapons performed, and they got a free chevron here with these Longbeards with great weapons, and we got another free chevron with the Quarters with great weapons. But 113 with the Grumbling Guard, outstanding. 126 with the Dragonback Slayers, and they still had some health. Rangers 35 and 21. They're really there for one reason: early pressure, get them moving. And then the Quarters with great weapons, very happy with the way they performed again, 23 and 46, and they got a chevron. This unit with 46, and did damage even when they got into melee with the Feral Cold Ones. And of course the Ulthars Raiders, who are always amazing. They are just they're just a must pick. You can see how crushing one volley is. Now for the Lizardmen, Mazdamundi, 209 kills. That didn't even include his magic. That's just him on his lock. He is incredible, really so strong. Skink cohort's 11, 6, and 34. Pretty good. 34 kills for a skink cohort is excellent. The Red Crested Skinks, I think we, for the most part, held them down. 23, 11, 72, and 57. The 72 and 57 really a little stronger, but we did try to focus on them with our miners with blasting charges. 31 and 118 for the Sour Swearers and Shields. 88 and 75 for the Temple Guards and Star Chamber Guardian. 40 and 13 for the Feral Cold Ones, and 33 for the Cold One Riders. So, you know, this my Lizardman build has evolved slowly but surely. That's sort of how I do it. You know, over 2 years, this build has evolved a little bit here and there, and I think this is a version of it I like. You know, I've been able to be strong against heavy dino builds, strong against skirmish builds, which you've seen if you watched the channel. I mean, obviously you've seen fight all kinds of Lizardman builds, and I mean, I didn't have any problems with a nothing but dinosaur builds with this, with some lineup sort of like this. But I think I am going to be adding to this build. I mean, I've been paying attention to A-Move Hacker and Umaze and their builds versus Lizardmen, and I really like what they're doing. So I think I've updated the build, and I haven't fought with it yet. If I get a match in, I'll show you. Really, I love what the Master Miners with Blasting Charges did, so I want to add a few more of them. And Umaze's builds, he brings one gyrocopter and one artillery piece, and it just sets that honeypot even stronger, and it seems to work really, really well. So we'll see how that goes. I mean, I have to give up something to get something, but anyways, we'll see what you guys thought of that game. Love to hear from you. I love comments. Z-Melon Gamer, strong player, definitely. I don't know where he was, like top 400, top 300, really solid player, and so I'm happy with the performance of that. And of course, I think the Dowie have the same advantage they had before the patch, and now that the one of the key elements to a potential Lizardman counter to the Dowie in the Ancient Salamanders has been nerfed pretty solidly. So this game, that really has just put this match back solidly into Dowie hands, I believe, and I think it's just going to remain that way for some time. The Dwarfs just have an advantage in this matchup, I think. Anyways, with that said, love to hear from you. Love to hear if you've been using miners with blasting charges against red crested skinks, and what you think of the build and what you thought of the Lizardmen build. Do you play Lizardmen versus the Dowie? And have you noticed any changes at all in the Dowie matchup if you do play Lizardmen? I would really love to hear that. Other than that, hope you found it interesting, and I will see you soon.